Have you ever wondered why God sometimes allows His faithful people to walk straight into danger? Why doesn't He always remove the trial? Why doesn't He always stop the storm before it begins? The story of Daniel gives us the answer. Daniel was not a young man chasing success. He was an elderly servant of God who had spent his life walking in integrity. Because of his wisdom and honesty, King Darius planned to place him over the entire kingdom. But success often attracts jealousy. The other officials searched desperately for something they could use against Daniel. They examined his work, his decisions, his character. Yet they found nothing. Daniel was faithful. He was trustworthy. He could not be corrupted. Finally, they reached one conclusion. If we are going to destroy Daniel, it will have to be because of his faith. So they convinced the king to sign a law that no one could pray to any god except the king for 30 days. The punishment was clear. Anyone who disobeyed would be thrown into the lion's den. Daniel knew exactly what the law said. He knew the consequences. He knew the price of obedience. Yet the Bible tells us that when Daniel learned the decree had been signed, he went home, opened the windows toward Jerusalem, knelt down, and prayed 3 times that day, just as he had always done. He did not hide. He did not compromise. He did not allow fear to change his devotion to God. His enemies caught him praying, exactly as they had planned. The king was devastated. He respected Daniel and tried until sunset to find a way to save him, but the law could not be changed. Daniel was taken to the lion's den. A massive stone was rolled across the entrance. The king spent the entire night unable to sleep. Perhaps Daniel would die. Perhaps this was the end. But God was still writing the story. At the first light of dawn, the king rushed to the den and cried out with a trembling voice, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you continually serve, been able to deliver you from the lions?" Then, from the darkness came Daniel's voice, calm, confident, alive. "My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths, and they have not harmed me." What an incredible moment. Notice something important. God did not stop Daniel from entering the lion's den. He protected him inside it. Sometimes we ask God to remove every difficulty from our lives, but often God chooses something greater. Instead of removing the trial, He reveals His power in the middle of it. Daniel's greatest testimony was not that he avoided danger. It was that God was with him in the danger. Maybe you feel like you're in your own lion's den today. Perhaps you're facing fear, pressure, loneliness, a battle you never expected. Remember, Daniel, the presence of lions does not mean the absence of God. Your circumstances may look impossible, but God's power is not limited by what surrounds you. The same God who closed the mouths of hungry lions is still able to guard His people today. Faith does not mean you'll never face trials. It means you know who is with you when they come. Stay faithful when obedience is difficult. Keep praying when the world tells you to stop. Stand firm even when everyone else chooses compromise. Because your greatest miracle may not happen before you enter the lion's den. It may happen while you're standing in the middle of it. And one day, you'll look back and realize that the place meant to destroy your faith became the place where God's faithfulness was seen most clearly. When you trust the living God, no lion's den is greater than His power.